So good evening and welcome to the opening ceremony for Space Apps 2021 Waterloo Region Edition. We're thrilled to have you joining us for the weekend and we can't wait to see what you'll build. My name's Kelly and I lead the marketing efforts at Skywatch. This evening, we'll be going over the agenda for the weekend, along with some housekeeping and some virtual introductions to our mentors and judges. We'll also share an exciting announcement about an amazing prize exclusive to the Waterloo Region Challenge. Before we get started, at Space Apps, there's space for everyone. Our opening ceremonies and workshops will be delivered via Zoom with slides and speakers, and we will be collaborating in Slack over the course of the weekend. If you require any accommodations, please reach out to me directly in confidence. We are committed to ensuring that this event is inclusive for all. I can be reached on Slack, via email at kelly@skywatch.com, or by phone or text at 519-498-1997. Before we get started, we'd like to take a moment to acknowledge that the land on which Waterloo Region is situated is the land traditionally used by the Haudenosaunee, Anishinaabe, and Neutral people. We also acknowledge the enduring presence and deep traditional knowledge, laws, and philosophies of the Indigenous people with whom we share this land today. Wherever you sit as you work on your challenge, please take a moment over the course of the weekend to acknowledge the land and its history. Before we dig into Space Apps, I'd like to share a little bit about Skywatch. We're working on an important mission to democratize access to remote sensing data, and we have a short video to share how we're doing that.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Space.
0.
The infinite expanse. Humanity has pushed beyond our atmosphere to understand what calls us to it. The desire to deepen our knowledge of our universe and our home. We go to space to better our world and ourselves. Space technology is constantly improving, and the data we collect with it has never been more valuable. But getting that data from the heavens to our hands can be a hurdle of cosmic proportions.
That's one small step for man.
Skywatch launched with the express purpose of taking the data we collect up there and making it useful down here.
Skywatch has built a machine-to-machine infrastructure which tightly integrates the world's satellite operators, space agencies, and ground stations.
We've traveled a long way since launching EarthCache in 2018, the world's first API for commercial Earth observation data. EarthCache has changed the way that satellite data is collected, aggregated, and accessed. On our mission to impact every person through satellite data, EarthCache was only the first step. Now with TerraStream, we're taking the next big leap in bringing satellite data down to Earth. Getting to orbit is no longer the hard part. Distributing your data to customers and building a profitable business is. TerraStream is the world's first turnkey data management and distribution platform for anyone launching a satellite. We want to make it easier to get world-changing data in the hands of those who need it. TerraStream is an industry-leading platform that will take away the heavy lifting of getting to market. Most importantly, through its integration into EarthCache, TerraStream provides access to thousands of customers on day one. We collect data in space to make our planet better. We monitor weather from space to predict natural disasters and help with relief efforts. We monitor farms from space to improve crop yields and feed more people across the globe. We track hurricanes and forest fires and pollution and climate change here with the data we get from up there. Astronaut Krista McAuliffe said, "Space is for everybody. It's not just for a few people in science or math or for a select group of astronauts. That's our new frontier out there, and it's everybody's business to know about space. It's everybody's business to make life down here better, and at Skywatch, we're making it your business. We're building the future of Earth observation. Join us."
So that was a short video just to explain what it is that we do here. We also have a special welcome for our participants from our Chief Technology Officer, Joel Cumming. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to join us this evening, but he's recorded a short welcome to kick us off for the Space Apps weekend.
Hi, I'm Joel, the CTO of Skywatch, and we're thrilled to welcome you to the NASA Space Apps Challenge Waterloo. We at Skywatch are fortunate enough to be hosting this hackathon for the 5th year in a row, and we're looking forward to another great year. Now, the Space Apps Challenge is held concurrently in over 250 cities around the world and has almost 30,000 participants in 87 countries. We're really glad you joined us. Now, the theme this year is the power of 10, celebrating the 10th year of the NASA Space Apps Challenge that has been held. Now, if you're not familiar with Skywatch, we build space applications that make our world a better place. We aggregate the world's satellite imagery, making it dead simple for any application developer to use. And we also build software for satellite operators, allowing them to easily monetize their data. Now, Space Apps has always been near and dear to our hearts, as back in 2014, we were just like you. The founders of Skywatch all met at the Toronto Space Apps event, not even knowing each other when it started. The team quickly built a project that tracked astrophysical events and was fortunate enough to win first place in Toronto. That allowed the team to be entered into the global event, where the team won the global award for best use of data. Shortly after, the company was formed, and now we're a Series B funded startup and have raised over $30 million from venture firms in New York, Silicon Valley, and Toronto, and we have 50 employees now. So if you're excited about solving some of the toughest challenges put forth by NASA, the Canadian Space Agency, and some satellite companies such as Wyvern, well, you're in the right place. Maybe you'll meet some awesome new people. Maybe you'll find a killer idea. Maybe you'll have your own startup one day. And if that's not your goal, well, that's okay too. This hackathon's about stretching yourself, learning a lot, and having a lot of fun. So thank you for joining us. Have a great time. Make use of all of the fabulous resources the organizing team has pulled together and build something awesome. Good luck.
So I hope that was an energizing message from Joel. As he mentioned, we got our start in the 2014 NASA Space Apps Challenge. This event is near and dear to our hearts, and we really can't wait to see what's going to come out of this year's hackathon. So a quick run through on the agenda. We do have some programming tonight. We're in the Space Apps Waterloo opening ceremony right now. Welcome to everybody who's here. At 7 p.m., the CSA will be doing their Space Apps 2021 kickoff ceremony. At 8 o'clock p.m., we're doing a workshop presented by Chris Stewart from Wyvern, who's one of our satellite provider customers. And his workshop is on what is hyperspectral imagery and what is it for. And at 9 p.m., we'll be joined by Roland Singh, who is a member of the 2014 Space Apps team that Joel mentioned. And so he'll be delivering a workshop on strategies for producing the winning hack. So we'll be posting all of the agenda items as they come up in the Slack channel, the CAN Waterloo Slack channel. We'll be recording all of them and posting them as well. But we encourage you to take advantage of the expertise that's being shared over the course of the weekend. Tomorrow, we'll talk a little bit about the Commercial Viability Prize shortly, but Plant AI won the Commercial Viability Prize at the Waterloo Space Apps Hackathon last year. And they've been working in the Venture Lab at the Conestoga Entrepreneurship Collective for the last year. And so we have one of the team members who'll be joining us talking about their experience working in the Venture Lab and turning their Space Apps project into a commercially viable business. At 8:45, we'll have a brief good morning message, and it will not be 12 hours and 15 minutes long like it says there. It will be over at 9 o'clock. Just a chance to make sure that nobody has any questions before the hackathon begins at 9 a.m. Tomorrow from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m., we'll have some office hours and activities. Members of the Skywatch team will be available to answer any questions that you have about the challenges, the requirements, submissions, where to find resources, etc. And we'll be posting events as they come up in that same Slack channel that I mentioned before, which is #CAN-Waterloo. And at 7 p.m. tomorrow, to get you ready for compiling your presentation to submit for the challenge, Matt Butler is a senior account executive here at Skywatch, and he'll be leading a workshop on what makes a good presentation to help you brush up on your presentation skills so that you're ready to record your submissions. On Sunday, once again, we'll do a brief good morning message. We'll have an optional yoga break from 10 to 11 a.m., but we know that you'll all be working on your submissions. We will host the same office hours, and a member of the Skywatch team, along with our mentors, will be available throughout the day to assist with any questions that you have. I've linked some key resources here. These are all linkable from the PDF. I'll pin this in the Slack channel. I've linked here the NASA Challenge participant FAQ. This includes important things from the NASA organizing team about the code of conduct, how to form teams, submissions, really anything that you need to know about how NASA has structured the challenge this year. I've also pinned the Canadian Space Agency challenge submission guidelines. If you join the CSA kickoff at 7 o'clock, they'll be talking a little bit about their challenges. CSA challenges are eligible to win the Canadian Space Agency Prize, but they're not eligible for the NASA Global competition consideration. So please just be mindful of that if you choose to do a Canadian Space Agency challenge. To make it easy to find, there are specific rules about how you need to compile your materials to submit them on the Space Apps website for consideration by our judges and ultimately the global NASA judging team. So I've linked that guide here. And if anybody here hasn't joined the Slack workspace yet, you should all have invitations in your email, but if you don't, that is linked here as well. And I'd like to touch quickly on an exclusive challenge that we're offering in the Waterloo region Space Apps Challenge this year. So we've partnered with one of our customers, Wyvern, on a series of challenges that you can work on throughout the course of the weekend. They've put together a couple of challenges that meet or that align with the NASA challenges. So if you work on one of those challenges using hyperspectral imagery, you will be eligible for judging at the NASA Global competition. And they've also put together two smaller challenges that aren't eligible. They're not tagged on to the NASA Space Apps Global ranking, but they're small tag-on challenges. Kristen from Wyvern has posted a cheat sheet about these challenges and where to find resources in the Can Waterloo channel. And we will have a mentor from Wyvern available over the course of the weekend if you have any questions about hyperspectral imagery, in addition to the workshop that Chris from Wyvern is leading this evening. So I'd like to do a quick virtual introduction to our mentors who will be joining us this weekend. I'm very grateful for their participation. I have expertise in lots of things, but generally not remote sensing data. So I'm very grateful to have a great group of mentors to participate this weekend and provide the expertise that you need to submit successful projects. So we have Jennifer Elliott from Skywatch joining us. So Jennifer joined the team. She works in a sales development capacity. She has expertise in spacecraft design and a number of other space-related disciplines. She was being modest when she filled out her biography, and she is available via Slack, email, or phone over the course of the weekend. Evan from Wyvern is a software developer. His expertise is in programming, and he's available via email. All of the contact information for the mentors are in their profiles in Slack. Ariane from Plant.ai. So I mentioned Plant.ai before. They were the winners of the Commercialization Prize for Space Apps 2020. He and his team have been working out of the Venture Lab at the Conestoga Entrepreneurship Collective over the last year. So he's very experienced in the Space Apps Hackathon experience. He knows a bit about graphic design, general STEM knowledge, and he's available by Slack, email, and phone. Adil Khan from Awake Aerospace and Awake Healthcare. He's a serial entrepreneur, is an expert in chunking time, maintaining energy, hitting milestones, how to find information, and working with early to mid-stage startups. So Adil is available via Slack, email, phone, and they're also available via Zoom or Hangout if that's a preference. Alex McVitie from Skywatch will be joining us as a mentor. Alex is a software engineer at Skywatch, and he won the Space Apps Global Challenge in 2018 with SongSat, which transformed satellite imagery into music. Alex's expertise is in GIS and remote sensing, Python and Java development, Linux, all things audio, and Alex can be reached by Slack and email. Mozan is another member of the Plant.ai team. She is a doctoral student in the Faculty of Computer Science at Dalhousie University, and her team was a winner of the Commercial Viability Prize that was offered last year. Her expertise is in the NASA Space Apps Hackathon, computer science, and she'll be available via Slack and email. Emil from Iris R&D Group has a strong background in engineering, business, and branding. His expertise is in competition pitching, business, ideation, prototyping, and revenue model strategy. And he's available via email. Roland, as I mentioned, was part of the global winning team of the 2014 Space Apps Challenge, which became Skywatch. They won the challenge for best use of data. Roland's an expert in software development, obtaining and using satellite imagery, and hackathon strategy. He'll be available via Slack, email, and phone. And again, he'll be doing a workshop this evening on strategies for creating the winning hack. Christian Snyder is the lead venture coach at the Conestoga Entrepreneurship Collective. His expertise is in commercialization and rapid prototyping. He'll be available via Slack and email. He's the person to reach out to if you'd like to be eligible and be considered for the Commercial Viability Prize. And you can reach out to him or to myself if you have any questions. Gavin Tolometti is a postdoctorate researcher at the University of Western Ontario's Institute for Earth and Space Exploration. He's been a mentor in the past for Space Apps Waterloo. His expertise is in remote sensing analysis, field deployments for analog research, planetary science and exploration, and he's available via Slack and email. And our last mentor is Jeremy from Ribbit. He's the co-founder and COO of Ribbit, which is the world's first pilotless airline. Jeremy has expertise in fixed-wing aircraft, hybrid liquid rocket propulsion, on-orbit servicing, and he'll be available via email. And again, all of the contact information is in the mentor's Slack profiles. I put together a little cheat sheet, so you know when and where and how you can reach the mentors over the course of the weekend. If this changes over the course, I'll keep it up to date. But again, I'll be pinning this presentation in the CAN Waterloo channel, so you can refer back to it when you're looking for mentorship or expertise. I'd like to also introduce our judges. So these are the local judges who will be evaluating the submissions and choosing the local winner who will move on to the next level of the challenge adjudication. So we have Curtis from Wyvern. He's one of the co-founders and he's their VP of product. Roland, I've talked a lot about Roland already, but again, he's a co-founder, staff platform engineer, and previous Space Apps winner. Teresa is a mentor and junior evaluation analyst at RBC Worldwide. Kamal Singh is a program manager of engineering at Google, and she is also the author of a series of books about a young girl who is exploring opportunities and careers in STEM. And so over the course of the weekend, we'll be able to share a little bit more about her books and a little bit more about what she's been working on, and she's really excited to join a group of people exploring opportunities in STEM. And Christian, he's the lead venture coach and the Gig Lab lead at the Conestoga College Entrepreneurship Collective. And finally, Christine Tovey, she's the Chief Technology Officer at Wyvern, and she'll be joining us as a judge as well and evaluating these submissions once they're submitted Sunday night at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time. So I mentioned the Commercial Viability Prize. I have a brief video here from Christian. Again, he is the venture lead at the Conestoga Entrepreneurship Collective, and I have a short message from him explaining the Commercial Viability Prize and some tips for making sure that you're eligible.
Hi, good evening. My name is Christian Snyder, and I'm here to talk to you about the Commercialization Prize, which is brought to you by the Venture Lab of the Conestoga Entrepreneurship Collective. So the Commercialization Prize is an opportunity to take your idea from the theoretical and turn it into a real business. The winner of the prize gets to join the Venture Lab at the Conestoga Entrepreneurship Collective for free. So many great ideas have come out of the NASA Space Apps Challenge over the years, but very few of them end up actually being realized. Very few of them move from the theoretical into the actual applied. And the Commercialization Prize was created to help change that. A fun fact, Skywatch, who actually came up with this idea, are one of the very few ideas that came out of the Space Apps Challenge and turned into a real business. Now, last year's winner of the Commercialization Prize was a team called Plant AI, and they combined satellite data, ground data, and artificial intelligence to build a product that helps urban forestry departments optimize tree plantings for specific outcomes like carbon capture or soil erosion. They're currently in beta testing with a large municipality and have been moving very, very well. If you're interested in throwing your idea into the ring for the Commercialization Prize, I would ask that you keep a few things in mind. One, and the first thing, to commercialize an idea, it needs to be an idea that can be commercialized right away. While I do love the idea of a hotel on Mars, it's just not currently possible, so it would not win. Two, I would ask that you keep the idea simple. Extravagant ideas, again, while a lot of fun, are incredibly hard to commercialize. So simplicity is going to help you if you are trying to commercialize your idea. Three, you and or your team will need a minimum of 12 to 15 hours a week to dedicate to the lab. So at a minimum 12 to 15 hours a week to work on your idea and to try to bring it to life. If you have more time than that, that's perfect. The more time you have, the quicker and easier you can reach a commercial outcome. If you have any questions at all over the course of the weekend about the prize or about your idea, feel free to reach out to me as a mentor, Christian Snyder. You'll see me in the Slack channels, and yeah, just reach me anytime. We very much look forward to seeing your ideas and welcoming the winner in the lab. Let's take your idea and then let's build something real.
So that was a brief message from Christian. And for those who aren't familiar, who have never tried to get into an incubator, it's very hard to get into an incubator. And so this is a tremendous opportunity for somebody who is interested in putting forth an idea and commercializing their Space Apps project. So, as has been mentioned, Space Apps came out, or Skywatch came out of the Space Apps Hackathon. And over our years as hosts, we've seen teams present amazing solutions. But without the support of the tech community, the world-changing solutions often stop when the hackathon wraps up, and those ideas never make it to market. We wanted to provide more help and support to see another Waterloo region company rise up out of Space Apps. So we partnered with the Venture Lab at the Conestoga Entrepreneurship Collective to offer this Commercial Viability Prize. Winners will gain entry into the Venture Lab program to receive one-on-one coaching, industry mentorship, and collaboration with the applied research team. Tomorrow morning, you'll have the opportunity to hear from the team at Plant.ai, who won last year's Commercial Viability Prize, and they'll be sharing their experience to date in the Venture Lab. So we're just about ready to wrap up. I'd just like to take a moment to thank our sponsors for this year's event. Each of these sponsors has been so generous with their time and their resources, and we couldn't run this event without their support. So we'd like to extend our special thanks to Communitech, Wyvern, the Western Institute for Earth and Space Exploration, Conestoga Entrepreneurship Collective, a Body and Motion Rehabilitation. We put together a guide to make sure that you stay limber and healthy while you're working on your hackathon project. So you'll see that over the course of the weekend. And also Space Q Media and Payload Space Media. So that's us wrapping up the kickoff. Just a few reminders before we go today. At 7 o'clock, the CSA Space Apps 2021 kickoff ceremony is starting. I'll post the Zoom link again. At 8 o'clock, we'll be presenting a workshop, what is hyperspectral imagery and what is it for? And that's presented by Wyvern. If you're interested in doing the Wyvern Challenge, I recommend that you sit in on this workshop. And then finally, at 9 o'clock, Roland from Skywatch will be doing his strategies for producing the winning hack presentation. And so we look forward to seeing all of you there. I'm going to give you some time back. Please join us in the Slack channels. If you have any questions about choosing a challenge, finding a team, where to find resources, any of those things, I'll be available. So please join us in Slack. We'll see you over the course of the weekend, and we're looking forward to getting started tomorrow morning. Thank you.